The Miami Heat badly want to offload Terry Rozier. While that makes sense, if their most recent trade has taught them anything, it's that they must attach a high-end pick or young player to his contract to make it happen. And that's something they absolutely cannot do. As Ethan J. Skolnick of 5 Reasons Sports notes, the Heat are actively shopping Rozier's expiring contract in search of just about anything, but specifically frontcourt help. That desperation tracks with their financial situation and roster makeup. The Heat are extremely guard-heavy at the moment, and Rozier is on the books for up to $26+ million. Still, there must be limits to this desperation. Moving Rozier just for the sake of getting rid of him is a big no-no if the Heat need to sweeten the pot, which they most definitely will. Look at what it cost the Heat to trade Haywood Smith. Haywood Highsmith is a useful 3-and-D role player on the books for just $5.6 million next season. Though he's recovering from knee surgery, his timeline for return could render him available by opening night, or shortly thereafter. Well, Miami needed to fork over a 2032 second-round pick just for the Brooklyn Nets to take him. That transaction, while the most confusing of the offseason, informs this one. If it costs the Heat a distant second-rounder to get off an impact, albeit injured, wing on a team-friendly expiring contract, just imagine what it'll cost to wipe off the $26.6 million Rozier counts for in prospective trades. Granted, Miami would not be looking to dump him without taking money back. That's mostly because it can't. Cap space around the league has largely dried up, and no team has a traded player exception large enough to absorb Rozier's salary in full. Moving Terry Rozier would cost the Heat flexibility. Even if the Heat find a taker for this deal, it will almost assuredly eat into the financial flexibility they've worked so hard to carve out. The lack of long-term money on their books points to a team still pining after the next superstar free agent or trade target who shakes loose. There is almost no way they ship out Rozier without adding money to their balance sheet beyond the season and taking on someone with questionable trade value themselves. In the event they do convert the 31-year-old guard into another expiring contract, impact player, or someone who checks both boxes, it's because they've also surrendered someone like Jamie Jaquez Jr., Kel'el Ware, Kasparas Jakushionis, or a first-round pick that conveys in 2029 or later. That may preserve their financial flexibility, but it annihilates their armory of assets. Belly-flopping into those waters is actually worse than saddling themselves with more big-picture money. Stars are currently more likely to switch teams via trades than free agency. The Heat are going to need every possible asset at their disposal to compete in forthcoming sweepstakes for Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jaylen Brown, Jaren Jackson Jr., or anyone else they identify as a gettable target in the near or distant future. It's one thing if Rozier is folded into a blockbuster acquisition as the primary salary matching tool accompanied by Miami's best assets. Failing that, the Heat are better off waiting for his contract to expire. After the Miami Heat signed guard Drew Smith to a 3-year contract extension, it was a signal from the organization that they believe the homegrown talent can emerge as a consistent impact player. The Heat guard suffered from a season-ending knee injury last year, as the 27-year-old speaks on how the recovery is going with a potential timetable. The aforementioned season-ending injury was not the only time Smith has been through a setback, as he even had another knee issue in November of 2023 that ended that campaign. However, even after the torn Achilles tendon last year, Miami kept him on a 2-way contract and eventually became a restricted free agent in the offseason, leading to the 3-year standard contract worth $7.9 million. Smith would say he's on a great trajectory and that the goal is to be ready by the start of training camp on September 30th, according to the Miami Herald. Honestly, it's all been going really well, Smith said. I feel like I've been on a great trajectory as far as the rehab stuff goes. I've started to do some contact stuff now. I haven't jumped fully back into 5-on-5. I would say probably here in the next few weeks or so. I think it's all just basically going to be how I respond to the more and more live sessions that I get in. I think the goal, obviously, is to be ready by camp. And I think that, as of right now, with no setback, that's kind of what we're looking at. Heat's Drew Smith on getting the new contract extension. After the Heat traded Haywood Highsmith, the first piece of business was signing Smith to a new contract, further displaying the confidence in further building the guard, who went undrafted out of the University of Missouri. Smith would admit that the contract situation was a little stressful, as the up-and-coming player has been cut by the team at 4 different times throughout the last several seasons. It was obviously a little stressful and things like that, Smith said, via the Miami Herald. I think any time, whenever you have nothing signed and nothing set in stone, I think it's just a little worrisome. But overall, I think we love this organization, and we're just excited to be able to be back and be a part of this. I'm extremely appreciative of an organization that believes in me the way that they have up to this point, Smith continued. There have been a lot of days where I've questioned whether this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I have amazing people around me. Heat's Drew Smith on his impressive stretch last season. As the Heat have many breakout candidates, Smith could be one of those players, as before the season-ending injury, Smith had become a constant producer in head coach Erik Spoelstra's rotation. Smith joins the backcourt unit that stars Tyler Herro and Norman Powell, but also features Davion Mitchell and others. In 8 games before the injury, Spoelstra had played Smith double-digit minutes and, in a good portion of those contests, played the entire fourth quarter. Not only serving as a playmaker and offensive option, he did give Miami another weapon on the defensive side of the ball, as he was asked if he could return to that level of play. I don't really see why not, Smith said. I wouldn't say this has necessarily been any worse of a rehab than the ACL or anything like that. I think Heat Senior Director of Rehabilitation Jeff Ruiz, who I work with every day, I think he's done an incredible job. I don't see any reason why I can't get back to being myself. The few times that I have been on the floor, I feel really good. I feel like I'm moving well. Drew Smith's confidence heading into next season for the Heat. In 14 games last season, Smith averaged 6.2 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 1.6 assists while shooting 50.8% from the field and 53.3% from three-point range. Though it was a small sample size, the Heat feels that for the 2025-26 season, Smith can be an impact player off the bench consistently, as the player himself feels he can do so as well. I think more than anything what I learned is, obviously, that I can play at this level, Smith said. For a full season, I really do believe I can help a team win games. Miami is looking to improve after finishing 37-45, 10th in the East. The Miami Heat and Pat Riley are always searching for the next big move. They're always looking to bring in star power if the right move presents itself. As the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo continues to be a major question mark in the NBA, the Heat are a team to keep an eye on. If he were to request a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks, Miami would instantly become a potential trade destination. Antetokounmpo is one of the best players in the NBA. Should the Heat find a way to bring him on board down the road, they would instantly become a championship contender once again. With that being said, no one knows what the Greek Freak is going to choose to do. He might end up being happy to remain with the Bucks long-term. Even though that could happen, a lot of suggestions have come up if a trade were requested. Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report has suggested Miami as one of the top potential trade suitors in the NBA for Antetokounmpo. He even offered what a potential trade package could look like with Milwaukee. In his suggested trade idea, Hughes would have Antetokounmpo heading to the Heat in exchange for Kel'el Ware, Tyler Herro, Andrew Wiggins, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2029 first-round pick swap, a 2030 first-round pick, a 2031 first-round pick swap, and a 2032 first-round pick. Pairing Antetokounmpo with Bam Adebayo would give Miami one of the best frontcourt duos in the NBA. Opposing teams would have a tough time matching up with them. During the 2024-25 NBA season with the Bucks, Antetokounmpo averaged 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and 1.2 blocks per game across 67 appearances. He also shot 60.1% from the floor. At 30 years old, he isn't getting any younger. Winning another championship has been a very clear goal for Antetokounmpo. It's quite possible that he won't have an opportunity to do that with the Bucks. Making the move to a team like the Heat could help him towards that goal. With Miami already being a favorite destination for NBA free agents, the addition of Antetokounmpo would make the franchise an even more attractive landing spot for veterans looking to compete. It's just an idea at this point in time, but Antetokounmpo to the Heat is worth keeping a close eye on should he hit the trade market.